Welcome to the channel if you're new, or if you're not, I'm Alicia and I am so happy you're here. I am doing Whole30 this month, as I have done the last 3 years in January, and I always love it because it reinvigorates my passion for prioritizing my health, and that really goes beyond food. It reconnects me with my routine and my healthy habits too. So today I have got a morning routine to share with you that I do strive for regularly, but that I specifically try to employ when I'm doing Whole30. The program is a mental reset for me as much as it is physical. And it's thanks to Epic Provisions for sponsoring this video. They have quite a few nutritious paleo and gluten-free products that I use both on Whole30 and in regular life, and I'll show you how I incorporate some of those goodies later in the video. Today I am going to focus on a Saturday-ish Whole30 routine rather than a regular workday. So I work a lot, and while I do love what I do, I don't have a ton of time for play. So I actually prefer to get up relatively early on weekends so I can make those days last. Usually on weekdays, I'm up at 4:30 to 5 in the morning, so sleeping until about 7 a.m. on a Saturday feels like sleeping late. Do you like to sleep late on weekends, or do you get up early? I mean, there's no right or wrong, but let me know in the poll. The first thing I do every morning, not just on weekends, is I mark off my Whole30 calendar, which is on my fridge, along with the additives reference PDF. So I set weekly intentions that help me stay on track, and I'm reminded of those intentions whenever I glance at the calendar when I open the fridge. It's a small thing, but it really makes a big difference for me. Then I chug an entire 32-ounce bottle of water. I also do this every single morning first thing. So when I get my water in at the beginning of the day, for some reason, it's so much easier for me to drink more of it throughout the rest of the day. I've worked on upping my water intake for years, and I have finally found a system that works for me. I now aim for 4 of these bottles per day, and I have found that to be a good balance for my body, depending on my activity level. Then I'll sit down to meditate. On weekdays, I try to get in at least 10 minutes a day. On weekends, I'll go longer if I can spare the time, physically and mentally. But after meditating the last few years consistently, I am a firm believer that consistency is way more important than how long you're sitting for. But meditation is something I definitely reconnect with each time I do Whole30, as is journaling and my gratitude practice. So if you don't have a gratitude practice, I highly encourage you to try it out. All you've got to do is write down things you're grateful for each day, big or small. You can do it in a journal or a notepad or even on your phone. Christian and I also share a gratitude practice together every day, but it's really an awesome way to inspire yourself, to appreciate and reconnect. I am grateful for you, and I would love it if you would write down 2 to 3 things that you're grateful for in a comment below this video. Whole30 has helped me make huge moves in my relationship with food, and that in combination with meditation, I think, has really transformed my approach and freed me from feeling controlled by food. I've struggled with restrictive eating and binge eating and orthorexia, and learning to be more mindful has really helped me let go of the stress that food brought to my life and helped me prioritize foods that are healthy without resentment. After journaling, I make breakfast. So something that I used to skip regularly, and I still skip it when I'm not on Whole30 a lot of the time, but I try to really stick with it when I do the program, even if it's quick. I don't like to eat too much before I exercise, and I know I'm going to be moving this morning, so one easy, light breakfast that I'll throw together is just a couple of boiled eggs with carrots and guacamole and some fruit. So I've got protein, carbs, fat, and even a few veggies all in one throw-together meal. I love omelets and scrambles and full breakfast meals, but honestly, I usually save those for lunch or dinner on Whole30 and keep morning meals really simple because I'm not quite ready to be in cooking mode this early. On Saturdays during Whole30, I try to get outside because I tend to feel re-inspired by going outdoors. Some weekends I'll hit the farmer's market, but I also love to go for a hike. Christian and Kristen and I go together. We don't go too far though because Kristen can't go quite as far as she used to, but she does her best and we make sure that she's comfortable and takes lots of breaks. For those of you who don't know, Kristen has liver disease. She's doing okay, but she has to limit her activity level. We will also bring a snack to enjoy while resting with her, which helps after a less filling breakfast. So this is where my Epic protein bars come into play. Epic has quite a few Whole30 approved options, and they're all listed on their website, which makes it really easy. A few of my favorite protein bar flavors are the chicken sesame barbecue, the beef apple bacon, and the venison sea salt and pepper, but it is totally worth trying them all all. They get really creative with their flavor combinations, which is fun because it takes the experience beyond just the protein bar and really into foodie fun territory. I also love when some of the bars have dried fruit and nuts in them and it adds that texture. Some have a little more heat and some are milder but still so flavorful. In addition to being Whole30, the Epic Venison Sea Salt and Pepper and the Chicken Sriracha bars are two of their keto consumer friendly products, which can also be found on their website. You'll also find meat strips and pork rinds that are keto consumer friendly, and although the pork rinds aren't Whole30, they are one of my favorites for cooking with regularly. Yeah, they're a great snack, of course, but I love to grind them up and then use them as a coating for food in the air fryer or oven. So tasty. But all of their products are really high quality, and that really became evident when I read about the story of the company. I didn't realize that the founders were actually plant-based and trying to find their way on their own health journeys, and then they eventually found that paleo suited them best, which really resonates with me because I've bounced around trying to find my way too. I love that because there wasn't a high quality product available to them, they decided to make it themselves. So I do feel good when I look at the label and I just know what's in the products and there aren't any tricks about it, and they are very conscious about where the ingredients are sourced. Really good stuff, and I was able to get a 20% discount for some of those keto consumer friendly products for you. You can use the code 20SAVE on Epic through Amazon on the Chicken Sriracha and Venison Sea Salt and Pepper protein bars, as well as the Venison Sea Salt and Pepper strips and the Himalayan pink sea salt baked pork rinds. All of the Epic products are lower in carbohydrates since they are meat-based after all, but those items specifically are the lowest, with less than 2 grams of carbohydrates per bar or serving, which is hard to find in a protein bar. It's epic, in fact. So try out the code if you'd like. Also, you should know that you can subscribe to Save 5% on Amazon if you are an Amazon Prime member, and you can actually save up to 15% if you subscribe and save 5 times. So if you find a favorite flavor and decide to incorporate them regularly, that is a great option. That bar keeps me satisfied for the rest of our hike and drive home and for the rest of the quiet morning. I don't have a lot of time to read during the week, so I try to fit that in on weekends, and that is also a time when Christian and I can be together without work or any other people getting in the way. For lunch, I thought today I would show you an easy 10-minute meal, a hash. So I told you breakfast is my favorite any time of day, but I won't usually cook it in the morning. And just because it's the weekend doesn't mean I want to spend all Saturday cooking. I still want it to be quick and easy. For my hash, I start with ghee and onions and garlic going into a pan. After a few minutes, I add cubed sweet potato and parsnip. You could use any root veggies you like, and also add shaved Brussels sprouts for some veggie goodness. I cover to let it steam for a little bit and soften, and after a few minutes, I add in some coconut aminos for flavor. Depending on the brand, you may not need to add salt at all, or maybe a little, but I taste it first to decide so it doesn't end up too salty. Another thing I will do that adds flavor and protein and makes it so I don't have to cook the protein is I'll chop up an Epic bar or half of a leftover bar that I might have and throw it into the hash. You can let the flavor of the bar enhance and help define your dish. It also adds some salt without me needing to season it. I top it off with avocado and a couple of fried eggs, and my Whole30 weekend lunch is ready to go. I love this meal. It's carbs, fat, protein, and veggies in one delicious meal. These are the meals where I sit down and I love Whole30. My food tastes good, I feel good about making it, eating it, the ingredients, how it's fueling me, and recognizing how it's helping my body after a nice morning of being outdoors and hiking with my family. I feel like I have more mental and emotional space in my physical body, and it just feels right. And that is what Whole30 helps me tune into, and that's why the reset is so valuable to me. If you want to learn more about Whole30, I will link some resources below to explain more about what it is and how to do it. It's always free, and I have no affiliation with them. I am just a huge fan. And Whole30 works closely with Epic to collaborate on approved products, so most of those Epic protein bars and strips really can integrate seamlessly into your Whole30, which is awesome because there is a lot to think about with the program, and Epic just makes it that much easier to stay on track and have a snack handy. Thanks again to Epic for sponsoring this video. Remember to use that code 20SAVE on Epic with the link in the description on Amazon for those keto consumer-friendly products. And don't forget to comment below with a few things that you are grateful for. I hope you'll subscribe and hit the bell so you can tune in with me next time. I will be back later this week. And remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.